Welcome in everyone, Farmer Cop here. We are going to talk about making some wagons today. So this is going to be kind of a guide on how to use this, but we're mostly going to be looking at like kind of testing the profitability and everything like that. Now, the one thing that I thought when I was doing the the last one I did, if you haven't seen it on my channel, I did one on the playground maker over here. And when I was doing that one, I did not realize that if you come in here into productions, you can find it in here. So like the playground maker's there and it tells you exactly how many materials are needed for each output. So my testing just confirmed it anyway. But I'm happy to know that I know exactly what this is going to take to produce a wagon. So what we're going to look at, the one thing that I am curious about compared to the Playground Maker Haul is it took 2 months to make this, and it says cycles for month 2 here. So I'm assuming that this is going to take 7 months, but I'm going to test that just to make sure that's the case for how this is going to work. Now, obviously, it says available. We don't own it, so we do have to buy this as well, which I'll show you how to do here in just a second. But we're also going to look at the profitability. So we're going to look at how much you're going to get paid out for this wagon if you're playing on easy difficulty, hard difficulty, normal difficulty, all the 3 difficulties we're going to check and see, because you do get paid out differently for those different ones. So we're going to check that as well. We're also going to test again how long it takes to create this, which I'm assuming is going to be 7 months. And then I'm going to do a bunch of calculations for you guys so you guys don't have to. So you guys can look at the profitability if you are making a wagon, buying stuff from the warehouse in game on any of the difficulty levels, or if you are producing your own stuff, or whatever the case may be. We're going to look at it to see if it's actually worth doing this. So I have a chart for that we'll take a look at when we get done doing some of the testing and stuff here, but that's the kind of goal here. So anyhow, this is the wagon builder. It's located on the map up here towards the top of the map. If this is Riverbend Springs, the starting farm is right down here, Playground Maker Hall's down there, and where we're at is right up here. You can see there's a marker for it here, and you can just hit visit if you want to, and it'll take you right up here to this area here. Now, your wagon's progress is going to be visually shown in here, and you can see down the bottom right-hand corner, it says planks long, fabric, and rope are the requirements, as we saw already. Now, that progress down there, it doesn't have a percentage or anything, and I've noticed it doesn't really show one. It didn't show me one for when I was doing the Playground Maker Haul, so I'm assuming it's not going to show one for here, which is kind of interesting. I think that might be some sort of bug or glitch, but anyhow, that might be fixed later on. But what you need to do in order to start making, stuff here, which I believe you can sell stuff off to these as well beforehand, so you can just use it as a sell point if you'd like to. So if I find like planks long, I should be able to, I can sell those to the wagon builder. If you don't want to use it as a production, you can just sell stuff off here and use it as a sell point. But if you want to actually make the money from making the wagons yourself, you're going to need to come up to it. You're going to come up to this wrench icon, hit R, and then you're going to buy it. It's $425,000, much more expensive than buying the Playground Maker Haul. So $425 is definitely quite a bit. So, but yeah, that's what you're going to do to buy it, and then you're going to see the progress up here. However, all of your inputs are actually going to be put in down below. There's several levels to this, and actually I'm going to go into flight mode to kind of show you this a little bit better. I think it'll just be a little bit easier. So this building is massive. This whole structure here is absolutely massive. You can see a wagon up here. There's different levels and parts to it. On the back side here where we were just at, this is where you're going to purchase the production point, which if you take a look at it from the aerial view over here, you're going to come in this way so you can go ahead and purchase it. However, all of your materials are going to go down here. This is where you're actually going to put your inputs in, is on this little section right here. So this is where you're going to put your inputs in. You can see I can go a little bit further into there if I really wanted to, and you can see there's different floors and all sorts of stuff going on. This has a lot to it, but you're going to put all your inputs in right here. So you're just going to transport your pallets of fabric, rope, and planks long down here as well. So just be aware of that. The other thing to note too with this is, since it doesn't take, if you look at, what we're doing in here, where are we at? Where is it? Oh, I own it. Of course, it's going to be in here now. So it doesn't take an even amount of pallets. It's going to take 8.4 pallets of planks long, 2.016 pallets of fabric, because there's 16 extra fabric you need, and 1.008 pallets of rope. So you can put extra material in here if you want, which I'd recommend doing if you're going to do this long term. You can put a bunch of material in here to kind of keep it rocking and rolling if you want to do that. The other thing to consider too is if you have, let's say you don't have any rope, like your factory's still working on it, or you just haven't gotten a chance to get it down here, if you put just planks long and fabric in, it'll still make progress. However, it's going to delay that progress for the rope. So for example, if this does take 7 months, we don't know for sure yet, I'm just assuming that it might take 8 or 9 months or even more to complete one wagon if you are delayed in putting some of the materials in. But it's okay to put some of the materials in and then put the rest of them in later. Just know it's going to delay your progress a little bit. So that's the last thing I want to note there. But anyhow, I'm going to do some testing. I'm going to do some discovering of the wagon builder here and kind of see what I can find out, so I can give you guys some good information and we can find out if it's actually worth building wagons in Farming Simulator 25. It's a very cool production, very new production. It came with Farming Simulator 25, obviously. It hasn't been something we've had in the past. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a look at it, and I'm going to do some testing for you guys, and I'll bring you guys back in just a bit. All right, my testing is complete. Kind of a little disappointing. It's not that this is a bad production. It's just not as good as I think it could be. I don't know. It's still, honestly, I think the only reason it seems not as good is because if you compare this, which we're going to do in a second, if you compare the wagon builder to the other one that I've done so far, which is the playground maker haul, this one is far superior. And I'll explain why here in a bit. This one I think is actually, personally, I think a little bit cooler. I think this building's cooler. And I think that building wagons is a little bit cooler than the playground equipment. So I actually personally like the looks and everything of this better. And this, the area you do it in, I think it's just a really cool little spot here. But if you're looking to just make money, this is not probably the best one for you. But you'll still make money on it, and I'll explain all that here in a second. And I did confirm that, yes, if we look at here, this is, it took 7 months. It took exactly 7 months to produce a wagon. So that's what we have going on for us. So that's all good there. So we confirmed that. When you look at the other ones, it should be the same thing. This one is 2 months per. It shouldn't say cycles per month. It should say like something different, but I get that it's all the productions say that. Because cycles per month for these means something completely different. Because technically speaking, if this meant the same thing as it does on other productions, it would produce 2 tractors a month, which would be insane. And it would produce 7 wagons a month, which would also be insane. But let's take a look at the little chart we got here and kind of go over some of the profitability. I think that'll kind of answer some questions. So obviously I have the playground maker over here. The big difference, well, let's just walk through this one here. So first off, if you haven't seen one of these charts that I've done before, I'm going to walk you through it. So we have the 3 inputs, rope, planks, long, and fabric, and this is how much it takes to build one wagon of each of those, how many liters. This is what you would get if instead of putting these products into the wagon builder, if you sold them separately. That's the total you get, and that's actually what you get with those all added. Well, that doesn't seem right, actually. Hold on a second here. Oh, I need to recalculate these. I copied and pasted over. This actually might be way worse. Give me 1 second to fix this. All right, I fixed it, and now it's even worse. I would almost not recommend this. Yeah, this is a rough production, guys. All right, you still make profit on some occasions, but we'll go through it. It's just nowhere near as good as the playground maker. The playground maker is fantastic. So yes, now the totals of these are now adding up correctly down here. So this is the total cost of these summed up. So again, like I said, that is if you were to sell these separately on easy, normal, and hard. And this is the warehouse, so how much you have to pay to buy all these materials from the warehouse. Yeah, so just be aware of that. Now, if you look down here, these are the prices I'm using per 1,000 liters for rope, for planks long, and for fabric, depending on your difficulty level. Now, if I change this, like this, what's an easy one? 12,000. That's say actually, well, normally when I sell it, I get 14,000. If I do that, it changes everything above as well. So just be aware of that. If you download a copy of this, you can kind of enter your own data into it. So yeah, but anyhow, the sell price for one of these wagons on easy economy is 166,500. On normal, it's 99,900. On hard, it's 55,500. Now, obviously, if we're using the warehouse, which is what the W stands for, to buy the materials, these are our 6 different profitability calculations. So we have easy, normal, and hard economy mode, and obviously these change depending on the economy mode, so that's calculated in here. For the warehouse, the prices actually don't change at all, depending on your economy mode. I mean, you still have to buy the stuff at the same price, so there's just the easy, normal, and hard of that, since these prices for what you sell the wagons for don't change either. So that's just what's happening here. You see the time per production, 7 months. And the big thing here, it's a big kicker, is this takes a lot longer to pay off. The playground maker is only $150,000 to buy the production. This one is $425,000, as we saw earlier. So that's the big thing here. Now, if you're playing on easy economy mode, and you are making the stuff yourself, instead of selling it, you're actually making $78,000 profit per wagon. So every 7 months, you get a nice payout of $78,000 in profit, which is great. It's still pretty expensive to make it, but the profit's good. Normal economy mode, $46,000. Hard mode, even $26,000. That's just actually, it's really good profit, to be honest. It's nowhere near the profit over here, but at the same time, it's still good profit. Now, if you're buying stuff from the warehouse, but you're in easy economy mode, you still actually do pretty good. $67,000, not bad. It's not as good as 78, but $67,000 is pretty good. Now, if you're in normal economy mode, you're making $800. So I would be very careful about this. Now, this could be different too. Maybe let's say you're making rope and fabric, the two expensive ingredients, but you have to buy the planks long from the warehouse. You're going to make plenty of money in this category as well. That'll still be totally fine for you. But then if you go to hard mode, if you're buying stuff from the warehouse at these prices, this is what it charges you. If you're buying stuff from the warehouse at those prices, and then you're trying to make these in hard economy mode where they only sell for 55 grand a piece, yeah, you're screwed. You're losing a ton of money. You're losing $43,000 a pop. So every 7 months you're losing that. So you really can't pay off the factory. Now, here's the thing. This is how many times you have to produce, how many wagons you have to produce to pay off the factory. So then when I went up to time, I obviously counted like the 3.5 years, for example. I took this and I was like, well, obviously you can't sell 0.44 wagons. It only sells when you have a full one. So I took this as 6, rounded up to 6. Even for like this one, I had to round up to 10. This one's rounded up to 17, this one's 7, and this one's 508. So that's how many wagons you have to make, is 508 wagons. And then this is how long it would take you to actually pay this off and actually start turning actual profit for you. So in easy mode, it's not too bad. 3.5 years is still a long time, though. And then normal economy, it's definitely worse. 5.8 years, 10 years almost in a hard economy mode. It's really not worth it. 4.1 years, unless you're going to play on a map for 20, 30 years, this is just not worth your time. If you're using the warehouse, 4.1 years here. If you're using the warehouse on normal economy mode, since it only makes $800 a pop, it'll take you 296.3 years. So definitely not worth it. And you can't even beg to pay it off again with the warehouse economy hard. So this is just hopefully this is helpful for you. And if you compare this in years to over here, even if you're buying stuff from the warehouse and you're in hard economy mode, you can still pay this off. The playground maker, you can still pay it off in just over 2 years, versus this one you can't pay off. And then even if you're normal 6 months compared to 296 years. And yeah, for like all of these options other than the warehouse in hard mode, buying stuff from the warehouse in hard mode, all of these you're paying this thing off in less than a year. And a lot of it you're paying it off pretty quick, or maybe less than half a year. These are all many years. So just be aware of that. It's a good production, it's a cool production, but playground maker, at least for now, for the win. I will do the other ones. We have the piano maker, and I can't remember if there's one on Huton Pantai or not. I feel like there is, but I'll take a look and do that as well. But we have at least the piano maker left to do, so I'll do that one as well and do a video on that. But yeah, it's not great. It's not looking good for the wagon builder, to be completely honest. This is not maybe the best production. But anyhow, hopefully this was helpful for you in some way. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.